Hello friends, this is Durga from IT University. As part of this video, I will be previewing Cloudera Quickstart 5.5 version for CCA certification. And if you go to the browser and if you go to the syllabus of Cloudera certification, it requires many technologies. You need to have a MySQL database. I have already previewed MySQL in my previous video, and it has a database called retail_db, which we will look into those details as part of this video. We need to have Sqoop to practice getting data from our MySQL database to HDFS. We need to have Flume. We need to have Spark. We should be able to run in both Scala context as well as Python context. And then we need to have Hive, Avro tools, and Impala. All these technologies has to be there on the VM to practice for the certification. And now we will validate whether everything is there or not, and also we will see if there are any differences which you need to be aware of, and if you have to fix any of those issues so that you can actually use my code in GitHub to practice on this VM. So first let us start MySQL database. Cloudera is the password for root user. You can say show databases. There is a database called retail_db. You can say use retail_db, and you can say show tables, and you can see there are 6 tables: categories, customs, departments, order, items, and orders and products. So we can use this database to run our Sqoop commands. Okay, so MySQL is done, and now you can go to my GitHub account. Go to code, Hadoop, EDW, Cloudera, Sqoop, and click on sqoopdemo.txt. First let us validate whether my VM name is Quickstart Cloudera or not, because for 5.4.2 it was the name. So I am just pinging from the VM itself, and it is working. So my VM name for 5.5 is also quickstart.cloudera. So all these commands should work. So MySQL comes with a database retail_db and a user retail_dba. So retail_dba is the DBA for retail_db, which have all the permissions that are required to create tables, insert data, etc. So I can run this command to list the tables using Sqoop and paste it. Okay, there is special character after list tables. So let me do this: Sqoop list tables and hit enter. You can see that it has returned all the 6 tables: categories, customers, departments, order items, orders, and products. Okay, so Sqoop is also working. You can run any of these commands to validate, to practice. And the next one is Flume. You can run Flume -ng version. It has Flume 1.5, sorry, 1.6. Certification says we need to they will provide 1.5 as part of the cluster they will be providing as part at the time of the certification, but I don't think there are major differences between 1.5 and 1.6. So most likely we'll be able to practice all the Flume scripts, but if we have any issues we will look at those at the time. And for the examples of Flume, you can just go to Flume cd opt examples Flume and ls-ltr. You can see there is a directory called conf. This is for Flume examples, and there are configuration files for Flume using which you can start the agent, and then you can practice Flume as well. And then the next important topic, and I think it's the major component of the certification, that is Spark. Okay, and it requires knowledge in both Scala as well as Python. And also, as part of the certification curriculum, they will be providing Spark 1.2.1 documentation, and there are few subtle differences which you need to be familiar between 1.2.1 and the later versions. First, let us check the version of Spark by running Spark shell ---- version. It is 1.5.0, hence you cannot use Spark directly. What you have to do is you go to my channel, youtube.com, click on my channel, click on Hadoop certification CCA, and in this I have a video to set up 1.2.1 on Quickstart VM. For Sqoop, you can do it without making any changes, but to practice Spark, you have to set up 1.2.1, and you can watch this video to do that. Okay, and then it will tell you how to launch the Spark shell, PySpark, and all those things. You just go through those videos, and you should be good. And then the next thing is Hive. You can launch Hive by running Hive command. Okay, Hive is launched. You can run show tables command. To list the tables. Right now there are no tables, but once you have tables, you should be able to query the tables, and you can practice all the Hive related exercises in this VM. And to launch Impala, you can run Impala shell, which will launch Impala, and you can run show tables or any other valid Hive query in this, which will run in Impala context. On top of that, it also have Euro tools, which you need to be aware of. So you can practice all the Euro tools related stuff as well in this VM. And then on top of that, it has a Hive also, as I have demonstrated earlier. You can launch Hive, you can go to query editors, click on Hive, and practice Hive stuff here. On top of these things which are relevant for the certification, there are additional tools also, such as HBase. You can use HBase shell command to launch HBase shell. So here you can run list command to list the tables. I think there are no tables at this time, but you can create a new table, and you can insert data, query data, and all those things can be done. So there is some issue with Zookeeper here. For that, what you can do is go to Cloudera Manager. Zookeeper is mandatory for HBase. So we have to restart, I think. Once it is up and running, you can run HBase commands as well on this. On top of that, if you want to practice configuring Kerberos and all those things, the VM provide you those as well. So it has the complete package of Hadoop ecosystem, and you can get into the VM and you can practice all the stuff. On top of that, Cloudera also provides some exercises online. You can go through those exercises and start practicing not only from certification perspective, but in general also to get hands-on expertise as a developer on the ecosystem of Hadoop. That being said, that is it. We have seen Cloudera 5.5 preview, but finally there are some subtle differences which you need to be aware of. One of them is, if you run Hadoop fs-ls /user, you see a lot of users here. One is Cloudera, HDFS, History, Hive, Hue, Jenkins, Uzi, Root, Spark, etc. These are called as user spaces. So in the earlier versions, for user Spark, they used to have 777 privileges. So anything that is written to this location, user Spark, uh, there are not many issues. Okay, but in 5.5 they changed it to 755. Because they changed it to 755, if you try to run Spark based queries on this 5.5 VM, it fails, because it has to write. It fails when you try to run in yarn context. So -ls user Spark. If you run this query, it will try to show you if there is anything under this location. So there is a directory called application history. So whenever you run Spark jobs in a yarn context like this, Spark shell master, sorry, --master yarn, and hit enter. In 5.4.2, there won't be any issues. It will launch it, and you can be able to run the Spark scripts directly, or Spark Scala or Python programs directly in the respective Spark shells. So there is two Spark shells. One is Spark Scala shell, and Spark Python. Other is Spark Python shell. So both of them will work without much issues. But in 5.5, because they have restricted the permissions to 755 for /user/Spark, you might run into some issues, and I'm trying to reproduce this, which a lot of people are facing. See, even with the 10 GB RAM, this one is not performing very well. So let me stop few of the services. I don't need HBase on this for the certification, so I'm stopping HBase. Okay, now it failed. So let us see why it has failed. You can see that it is saying permission denied for user Cloudera on user Spark application history, because when you run this command, if you go out and run the previous command of Hadoop fs-ls user Spark, we have seen that application history has only read and execute permissions for other users than Spark. The user Spark have the right permissions, but we are running the Spark shell as Cloudera user. So hence it is failing, because Cloudera cannot create the files that are required while running the job under user Spark application history. It failed. For that, we need to change the permission. And also, if you look at Hadoop fs-ls/user, the Spark is owned by HDFS. It is not owned by Spark. So it seems to be a bug. If you see any other directory, these are called user spaces. All the directories under /user are called user spaces. If you see any of the other directories, you can see the owner and the directory name are same. Here it is Uzi, and here it is user slash, and there is the Uzi directory under user. Here it's Jenkins, and the owner is Jenkins. It's Hive, owner is Hive. Hive, Hive. History, it's a different thing. It is owned by MapReduce only. HDFS, HDFS. Cloudera, Cloudera. But for Spark, it is owned by HDFS. So there is, I think it's a bug or an issue when they have released this version of VM. Anyway, to fix all the problems permanently, to practice for our certification, what you can do is you can run sudo -u HDFS, because HDFS is the owner of the user. HDFS is the owner of HDFS on VM or Cloudera cluster, on any Cloudera cluster. So you can you have to sudo to HDFS, and as HDFS we need to run this command. So sudo -u HDFS will let you run the command as that user, and then we have to give the command hadoop fs -chown 777. We need to do it recursively, so -R 777 /user/spark and hit enter. So now what we are trying to do, we are changing the permissions so that any user can write to this location. You should not do it in clusters directly. You have to raise the issue with the Cloudera if this happened on your production cluster or POC cluster. Okay, the issue is I ran chown command. I have to run chmod command. Chown is, it used to be HDFS, so let me change it to HDFS itself. Okay, now I need to run chmod. So the command is sudo -u HDFS hadoop fs -chmod -r for recursive 777 on user Spark and hit enter. So if it happens on Cloudera cluster, even for a POC, you should raise this issue with Cloudera and get the permanent fix. You should not directly change the permissions on the user spaces like this, which come out of the box. Anyway, now you can run hadoop fs -ls command, and now the Spark is owned by HDFS itself, and now we have 777 permissions. As we have done recursively for both chown and chmod, all the directories are under user Spark are owned by HDFS in this case. But if you only run a chmod command, probably this one will be owned by HDFS, and the subdirectories might be owned by Spark. Anyway, as we are giving 777 permissions, it should not matter. Okay, now we change the permission, and then I will run the Spark shell command to make sure that I can run Spark shell in yarn context. Meanwhile, I will try to stop few of the services. Stop HBase, I don't need HBase. Close. I don't need Solar, so I'm stopping that also. Close. And for certification, I don't need Uzi, so I'm stopping Uzi also. Stop, close. And yeah, I don't need key value store indexer actions, so I want to stop that also. Close. That's it. Rest of the stuff are required for the certification. We need HBase, Hive, Hue. Also you can stop if you want. We need Impala, and we need Sqoop and Spark. So we leave those things as is, and we stop key value store, Uzi, Solar, HBase, which are not relevant for the certification at all. That being said, now still this is coming up. Let's wait for a few more minutes. Yeah, now it's working. Now you can see that it didn't throw that exception and it is actually launching the Spark shell in the Scala context. So that is how you can fix this issue. So going forward, if I get any questions or any issues while running my scripts in GitHub account, either for Sqoop or Spark or Hive or Impala, I will try to reproduce that on the 5.5 VM and try to provide the solution. If there are no issues, well and good, most of the scripts will run without any issues on 5.4.2 as well as 5.5. That being said, I hope you are enjoying the content on my channel. If you like this video, please click on the like button. If you want to provide the feedback, please use the comment section of the video. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. You will get to see a lot more content like this over time. Thank you. Bye.